Hello, kia ora everybody, and welcome to this video about the astrology for the week ahead from Saturday the 18th of January until Sunday the 26th of January. My name is Fiona of Sun and Moon Calendar, and this is talking about Western tropical astrology from the point of view of the Southern Hemisphere, especially Australia and New Zealand. I'm based in New Zealand or Aotearoa, but I make calendars for New Zealand and Australia just to show you. As I said in last week's video, I've just recently got a printed version of the Australian calendar, and hopefully that balances back in the right place, and the New Zealand calendar, which I've had right from the start because we got it printed here in Nelson, Whakatū, where I am. Yes, so two editions, the times are different, and the special animals and birds that have been chosen to represent each sign are both different. So what's going on this week? We've got some new starts. We've got Venus conjunct Saturn in the sign of Pisces, and that's going to happen a couple of times over the next few months because of Venus's retrograde. And we've got the Sun conjunct Pluto just as it moves into Aquarius. So that's energizing that Aquarian energy of Pluto in Aquarius with the transformative technology and innovation that we're going to be really experiencing in the next few years. Boy, it's going to be big. But anyway, week by week, it's not going to seem quite so big and grand. But let's look at what's going on this week. Here we go. Well, as always, I'm going to start by talking about the moon phase that we're in. We are in the waning phase of the moon. We had the full moon on Tuesday, the 14th of January, and then we had full light. And now the light is gradually waning, and over this coming week we'll have the last quarter moon or the third quarter moon when the moon is square the sun. And that's a good time where we've got that square energy that gives us tension and challenges to overcome. We'll be finishing some things off, letting go of the things we haven't managed to complete this month, because we can never do everything that we would like to do or we imagine we could do. It's just not realistic, and it's okay to let go of some things. And then as the light wanes even more, we will come down to the dark moon, and then we will have the new moon. With Australia, that's on Wednesday next week, the 29th of January, and in New Zealand, it's on the Thursday early in the morning. And after we have that new moon in the sign of Aquarius, we'll be in the lunar month of Aquarius, and that will be the second page of the calendar. And here is a sample page of the New Zealand calendar. I chose the albatross or the toroa to represent Aquarius because I love the idea of the way that a great bird like that can look down upon all us little ants walking around on Earth and see everything, see the big picture. And Aquarius is great for that. And upon consultation with my friend Tara Waters of Australia, she's an astrologer in Australia, and there's a link for her in the description below. She gave me advice about the Australian animals, and she recommended the wedge-tailed eagle for Australia. And so there's a lovely illustration there by Jazz Robery, and that's the page for Aquarius for Australia. So now I'm going to go on to look at the main events this week. First of all, looking at a new start, and that's a new start in the sign of Pisces, where Venus is meeting Saturn, and they are in a conjunction, and that's on the 19th of January, Sunday. Okay, but it is one of three conjunctions. So normally Venus passes over Saturn and they have a fresh start, because a conjunction always brings a new start of a cycle. And then Venus toddles around the zodiac wheel and comes back to Saturn roughly a year later. This time, however, Venus is going to be going retrograde in Aries and then back into Pisces, and is going to meet Saturn again on the 7th of April. After that, on the 13th of April, Venus is going to station to go direct, and Venus will then move across Saturn again for the third time. So this is a new start, but it might be a new start that we rethink once it comes to April. Okay. Anyway, when we have these two together, Venus is about relationships and money and the pleasures in life. And Saturn seems like the opposite, very serious, works hard, not about pleasure. It's about working hard, discipline, and duty. Okay? But what relationship, what financial plan can work without the willingness to work hard and have long-term commitments and show up like a responsible adult? So these two can work really well together. So as you go through that passing, it might feel a little like there's not so much fun in life. It might feel there's a bit of a depressive feeling sometimes with Saturn. And it might make you think, okay, I want to get serious about something. But whatever it is that you decide on, it might be something that you're reviewing with Venus's retrograde coming up in March and April. Okay. And then on the 20th of January, the sun moves into Aquarius. And this happens every time that we get to this stage of the year. And the sun in Aquarius, the sun is very shiny. And the sun is the ruler of the sign of Leo, which is opposite Aquarius. In Leo, the sun is absolutely grand and glamorous and glitzy and shining and dramatic and dazzling even. And Aquarius is the furthest sign from Leo. So Aquarius, the ancient ruler being Sirius Saturn, Aquarius can be pretty serious. However, Aquarius also is quirky, individualistic, will like to push boundaries, not so much for the sake of pushing boundaries itself, but because Aquarius just likes to express itself or himself or herself however he or she wants to. There's authenticity with Aquarius. And with the sun going through Aquarius, the sun energy might feel a little dampened, even though it's the height of summer for us. Hard to tell. It's been so chilly this summer. But nevertheless, while the sun is in the sign of Aquarius, we've got a focus on Aquarian matters, which is crazy new geeky technological ideas that jump humanity forwards in leaps and bounds. Great grand solutions for large groups of people, for the masses, grassroots, large groups and large organizations that are quite devolved in power. So that's going to be interesting. And with the sun being about self-expression and vitality, we could see some quirky avant-garde styles with the sun going through Aquarius. And then we have another cycle beginning, a year-long cycle. Every year the sun goes over Pluto. And this is maybe not the first, but one of the first times that the sun will be conjunct Pluto in the sign of Aquarius. And the sun will be coming into conjunction with Pluto for the next 20 years while Pluto is in Aquarius. All right. So we have got passion, profoundness, deep power with Pluto, shiny, energetic, royal power with the sun. So this is a pretty powerful conjunction. It might bring up some deep and challenging issues, especially to do with power and control. There could be some ego issues. However, it is a new start, and it is worth, if you have the time to do this, because there's so much going on in astrology and in life, you can't always do everything, but you could even jot down some notes, have a meditation on how you want to use and wield and express power in your life, autonomy, sovereignty in your life, and how you can align that on the surface with your outward expression with the inner hidden layers of power that you hold within you and your beliefs about power. So, something to think about. And just to remind you, in case you forgot, from the 7th of December until the 24th of February, Mars is retrograde, meaning that our drive, our passion, the ways we take action in the world, what we fight for and how we fight are all under review. And it can feel like we are, like doing the running man, like you're running and getting nowhere, wading through mud. challenges and blockages as we go. Okay, so the advice with Mars retrograde is to actively, consciously review the ways that we take action and what we're working towards and fighting to reach. And at the same, and slow down, be comfortable with the slowing down and with the transition time that it is. Okay, and in the meantime, with all the frustration that can build up, avoid starting fights. Try and do some journaling to dispel the energy. Go for a run, go for a swim, because Mars is in Cancer, a water sign. Go for a hard walk, some exercise is a good idea. Okay. When I make my thumbnail for these videos, I always have like this challenge of what shall I call the video? So now I'm in the middle of the video and I'm going to try and think of what to call it. And I think with that new start with Venus conjunct Saturn, but it has to be redone because of Venus retrograde, with the new start with the Sun going into Aquarius and then the Sun conjunct Pluto, which is the start of a year-long cycle, and Pluto being challenging. I think I might call this video hard starts or difficult beginnings or deep dark starts or something like that. So that's my feeling for the energy of this week with those two conjunctions and also Mars still being retrograde and very much active with making us feel like we aren't finding things easy to get started. So let's see if that's what I end up calling it. So now I'm going to go through this week's transits and aspects in chronological order, day by day. I'm going to whiz through them because there are quite a few. On Friday the 17th of January, late in the evening in Australia or early in the morning on Saturday the 18th for New Zealand, the Sun is sextile to Neptune, and that happens twice a year. And this is good energy for creative and spiritual and charitable pursuits. There's support for this kind of thing, then there's vitality around those matters. And that's the Sun at 27 degrees of Capricorn before it goes into Aquarius. And then on Sunday the 19th, as mentioned before, Venus conjunct Saturn, where we've got a new start, one of three going over that new start with how we are committed in love and our finances and how we work hard for what we want to aim for in those areas. Also on the Sunday, Mercury is sextile to Saturn, meaning that it's a good time for planning practical things, long-term projects, talking sensibly and practically. And you can see with Venus conjunct Saturn and Mercury sextile to Saturn, the next one, of course, is going to be Mercury sextile Venus. These two are never far from the Sun, and a sextile is usually around about as far as they get from each other, maybe a little bit further when Venus is quite far from the Sun. And with this is lovely. This means we can communicate with partners and others around us in an easy flowing way and share ideas and share our thoughts and our feelings. So enjoy that one. The Sun enters Aquarius, as I discussed before, on the 20th of January, and we have the start of the Aquarius season. We've already had Venus go through. We've now got the Sun. Pluto's there, of course, but every year around this time we have Venus, Mercury, and the Sun going through roughly in that order, different order, but the Sun always goes through. And this is part of one of the special times for New Zealand because our Sun is in Aquarius, if we count the Treaty of Waitangi as the founding document and the astrological chart for the signing of the Treaty of Waitangi. Okay, so that's like New Zealand's birthday in a way on the 6th of February. Okay, on Wednesday the 22nd of January, the first aspect that the Sun will make as it moves through the sign of Aquarius is a conjunction with Pluto. And this can be powerful, deep, intense, passionate. Because both of those are passionate planets in different ways. Pluto with the underground passion and the Sun with its more in the worldly vitality. Okay, and it's a new start with the cycle of the Sun going round and going around the zodiac wheel and then coming back to Pluto again next year. So a year-long cycle. Okay. On Wednesday, the 22nd of January, the last quarter moon in the sign of Scorpio, as we get things finished off. And with Scorpio, it's a chance to connect with our deeper emotions. Friday the 24th of January brings us Mars sextile Uranus exact, and this featured in the full moon because Mars wasn't quite exact, but it was coming into a sextile with Uranus, and also the moon was. Yeah, so that's an easy energy, quite an easy energy, energetic, exploratory, adventurous, looking into new territory, being innovative with Uranus there. And then on Friday the 24th of January, we've got Mercury opposite Mars. And this is where we can have a tension because the opposition brings tension. It's like two people at loggerheads with each other. Mercury will be wanting to communicate and discuss and bat around ideas. And Mars will be just wanting to do stuff like fight, have a fist fight rather than a verbal argument. But Mars is going backwards. It's not such a great time for Mars. Anyway, there's tension and the potential for conflict and angry words there. Okay. But an easier one on the very same day is Mercury trine to Uranus. So all of this is making that wedge shape with Mercury to Mars to Uranus. So some of that dynamic tension of the opposition between Mercury and Mars could be helped with Uranus there, adding its innovative freedom and authenticity and the joy of being an individual. Okay. And on Sunday, the 26th of January, a lovely one, a good day for a date. The divine masculine and the divine feminine meet together in a nice flowing trine. That's Venus trine Mars. Love and beauty, prosperity, along with passion and excitement and a willingness to take a step forward in matters of love, money, beauty, sensual pleasures. There we go, everybody. That's all from me for today. A roundup of the week's events. Remember to order your sun and moon calendar. Go to sunandmooncalendar.nz for a New Zealand calendar edition, and go to sunandmooncalendar.com for the Australian edition. But if you did those the wrong way around, it would still work out all right. It's $34.95. Every page is a lunar month, packed with information about the characteristics of the sign, an affirmation, new moon questions, daily transits, so much information, and set out really visually clearly in lunar months, as well as cute animals and birds representing the symbols of each sign, representing the country of each sign, representing the country of each calendar. Anyway, that's all from me for today. Have a great week. Hei konara. Bye for now.